guess now is as good a time as ever to get started with this, right? What's going on, everybody? It's really good to be back, making more videos for you guys, making more content for you guys. Man, it feels good, you know? I know it's been a while. I know that the quantity of videos has really dropped. I've been doing a lot more live streams. Those have been really fun, by the way. Be sure to show up for those. I'm doing a mixture of some on Twitch, some on YouTube, just to try and draw some people over to Twitch, but also just keeping one foot in YouTube, just in case Twitch doesn't really work out. So just feel free to show up to any of those. It's been really fun, but it does feel very, very good to be doing another video for the YouTube channel. Just sitting down and recording with like a plan, you know, this is what I'm going to do, and this is what I'm going to post later on. I don't know, it feels nice. It's different. Anyways, we're already on a tangent. We started this video off on a tangent. I'm going to be telling you guys my top 30 albums of the year. I'm very excited to do this. I built this list out yesterday, I believe. Oh shoot, I didn't even mention. Yeah, you know your boy had to get a haircut, had to get himself looking nice and sharp. December 25th on Friday, as all of you know, is an international holiday, right? Whole lot of red is dropping. I had to get looking clean for that. But yeah, I'm going to be telling you guys my top 30 albums of the year. Before we jump right into the list, before we jump into the explanation of how I put it together, I do want to say thank you so much to my patrons on Patreon and to the members of the channel and to everyone who has been so generously donating in the live streams. For those of you that don't know, I do this for a living. I'm able to do this for a living at the level that I'm at because of the exchange rate from the US dollar to the Brazilian real. It's like $1 is $5 here for me in my currency. So I'm able to do this. My wife is able to do this as well. And we're able to pay our bills because of you guys and because of your support. So I really want to thank you for watching the videos, and for those of you who specifically turn off ad block to watch my videos, I really appreciate you. I get a couple cents every time you see an ad on my channel. But the patrons and the members and the donors on the live streams are the main reason I'm able to keep doing this, because as we all know, YouTube doesn't pay very well at all. So it's your continued support that I really appreciate. And if you're somebody who has considered supporting before but just needed that extra boost, consider that exchange rate the boost that you needed. I'd really appreciate, your support. If you feel like donating, every dollar goes a very long way. Like I said, 1 equals 5 here. So I really thank you guys for sticking with me, for your continued support in this crazy year that we're living through, and in this time period where I'm kind of transitioning from doing specifically only album reactions to also doing some gaming content, some production content, some live stream stuff. You guys have just been with me through and through, and I know that together we're going to get this channel to a very special place, so that when we do things like putting y'all on and we put people onto up-and-coming artists, those artists get the recognition that they deserve and the promotion that they deserve for free. So I really wanted to say huge thank you. And I also kind of have to plug the Patreon, the subscriptions, all that stuff, because the statistics show when you plug your stuff, people actually follow more often than not. So I just kind of had to get that out of the way and say thank you, of course, because I really do appreciate it so much, all the support that you guys have shown to the channel so far. We're going to be jumping into this list now. I do have to say, this list is going to look radically different from all of yours. It is. Because I made 0 attempts to not be biased. This is not an attempt at putting together an objective list of the 30 best albums to drop this year. This isn't even my list of the best albums of the year. This is my list of the 30 albums that I found most enjoyable in the order in which I subjectively enjoyed them. I know that sometimes one album can be objectively better than another, but you can still enjoy that other album more. You can still come back to it because sometimes it's just mind-numbingly catchy, and you get more enjoyment out of that than having to dissect every single bar on this album. So all this to say, your favorite rap albums of the year are going to be pretty low on this list. And that's not because I think they're bad. That's just because this year, I wasn't really big into rap. I was listening more to indie, pop, R&B, alternative, rock, everything but rap. So I mean, I really like all these albums. I don't think that the 30th album on here is a bad album at all, because so much music dropped this year that to even be in the top 30 means I like the album. So these are just my top 30 favorite albums of not all time, of this year. And the rap albums are going to be pretty low just because, like I said, I wasn't really in the mood to listen to rap this year, so I didn't get as much enjoyment out of those albums as I did from some of the other ones that are going to be up on this list. So like I said, purely subjective, no attempt, and I'm not claiming to be objective at all. This is just for me. This is my personal list of the 30 albums that I got the most enjoyment out of. I just say this because people really think that we try to be objective in these videos and they get very upset. You can feel free to disagree all you want to with this list. I would love to see your list in the comment section. Actually, that's a great idea. Drop your list in the comment section and we can just compare and talk about them in a civilized way, of course. There's no need to be disrespectful or anything like that. People have their own tastes. They like what they like. Music is subjective. Blah, 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 blah. Let's just respect each other and keep it pushing. One more thing that I really had to say before we jump into this list, man. This is not going to be me giving in-depth reviews of all 30 albums that I really enjoy, because this video would never end if we did that. This is going to be me just kind of giving you a list, a few details of why I like the album, and we're just going to keep it moving, you know? I have a specific video on my channel for most, if not all, of these albums. And if there is an album on here that I don't have a video for and you really want to hear my full in-depth opinions, just ask me in the comment section. I'll try to answer as, detailed as I possibly can. But for the most part, if you feel like knowing my full fleshed out thoughts on a lot of these albums, watch the videos that I have for them. This is just going to be really quick. This is why I like this album. It's in this place on my list. Let's keep it moving. Just because I really want to get through these 30 albums as fast as possible. And so with that said, let's just jump into it, right? All right, so coming in at number 30, King's Disease by Nas and Hit Boy. The production was, fine. Hit Boy kind of went crazy on some of the tracks, but for the most part, really good production. Good rapping from Nas, nothing too crazy, I think. Very good storytelling. Enjoyable album off my first listen. I liked it well enough the other times that I listened to it. Thought it was fine. Not mad at it. Top 30 this year. Very enjoyable. 29, Music to Be Murdered by Eminem. I think it's pretty heavily overhated. The first part, by the way. I still haven't listened to the deluxe. Music to Be Murdered by, the first part by Eminem. I think it's heavily overhated. People were really clowning those really corny bars. There are corny bars on this, don't get me wrong. But I think that Eminem knows that they're corny and he just decided to put them in there anyway because at this point he kind of doesn't really care. I think that for the most part, the production's fire. Some of the lyricism on here is on point. It's not all corny, despite what hip-hop Twitter says, for the most part. There are some bangers on here. There are some very fire features, some very fun production, really interesting listen, for the most part. Music to Be Murdered by, number 29. Number 28, My Turn by Lil Baby. Some of you guys might be surprised that this isn't higher on my list, but to be honest, I didn't find myself coming back to it as a whole all that much. Certain songs on here, I go back to them all the time. But the project as a whole, I didn't find myself really returning to it all that often. Still though, the times that I did listen to it, I had a lot of fun. I thought that some of the beats were very, very bouncy. Lil Baby is one of the top rappers to come out of 2020. I think that if you compare this year that he had to 2019, he just had a massive rise in popularity and in success. And that's partly due to this album. So I heavily enjoyed it. Number 28 on my list. 27 is High Off Life by Future. The first listen that I gave to this wasn't great, I'll be honest. I couldn't understand how Sean C enjoyed it so much right off the bat, and I'm not name dropping him just because he just happened to have the only video on this that I had watched out at the time, and he really enjoyed it first listen, and I felt like I wasn't getting something, there must be something I'm missing. So I gave it a few more listens, and it grew on me pretty heavily, I'm not gonna lie. High Off Life has some bangers, some certified bangers off of this. So yeah, it's a great album. Number 27 on my list. You should definitely go and listen to it if you haven't. And definitely, I don't remember if I dropped a video on it. I think I might have dropped a video listening to my favorite tracks off of it, so check that out. Number 26 on my list is Savage Mode 2. Now, I know that for a lot of people, this is the album of the year. Like I said, I wasn't really big into rap this year. I was listening to other genres more often, so I didn't get as much enjoyment out of this as I did with some of those other albums. But yeah, I thought that it was pretty decent. I honestly was expecting a little bit more, if I'm not lying to you guys. Like I was a little underwhelmed with it, but it definitely managed to not completely disappoint. It managed to live up to some of the hype. Metro Boomin killed the production on this. had some of those tracks that were a little iffy, right? With some of the production choices, I made some comments that turned out to be pretty unpopular, and then they became memes for most of the people who watch my live streams. At least whenever they hear a cowbell in the beat, they expect me to flip out. But it's a very enjoyable album. 21 Savage's delivery can get a little monotonous at times, but I'm not mad at it. For the most part, it's a pretty fun listen. Number 26 on my list. Number 25 is Run the Jewels 4. Now, I'll be honest, I don't think enough people are talking about this album this year. I think it is very, very underrated for that matter. For that reason, you know, it came out and it got a little bit of hype, and then people just kind of stopped talking about it. And I think that this is, if you go back to it and listen to it, it is heavily enjoyable. Now, like I said, the rap albums are going to be pretty low on this list, but out of the rap albums on this list, this is definitely one of the better ones. I can't get over some of the lyricism and the energy and the production. Like, it's just, sometimes it's just so loud and crazy and interesting and like in your face, lyrically and musically, and I kind of love it for that, you know. Killer Mike and LP are just insane, you know. So Run the Jewels 4, very enjoyable. Number 25, like I said, all these 30 I heavily enjoy, so I'm going to be saying very enjoyable a lot this video. But number 24, Alfredo. This is a lot of people's album of the year. They're going to be so weirded out when they see that it's number 24 on my list, but like I said, it's very subjective. Alfredo had some insane production by The Alchemist on it. Freddie Gibbs had one of the best years as well in 2020. He definitely is popping more into the mainstream. His Instagram account got very, very famous for reasons that I'm not going to go heavily into because, well, I mean, he got banned from Instagram, I think, yesterday. So you got to love Freddie, man. But he really killed it on Alfredo. They kept it short and sweet, 10 tracks, 10 really great songs. I mean, listen to it. What are you doing watching this video? Go and listen to Alfredo. It's very, very good. Niagara is number 23 on my list. Red Veil is definitely one of the, how can I say this? He's one of the up-and-coming artists. I don't even know if he's up-and-coming. He's kind of made it. Like, Tyler, the Creator, listens to his music. So Red Veil is probably one of the youngest artists that I'm very excited about that I discovered in 2020 with his album Niagara. I thought that the fact that he made this at 16 years old in his bedroom is just unreal. The quality of this music, the fact that, again, he's only 16 years old, the potential that this shows, it had to make it onto my list. Tyler, the Creator, shouts out some of his music on his Twitter all the time. If you have not heard Niagara by Red Veil, definitely check this out. Seriously, like, you're not going to regret it. A lot of people hear that he's only 16 and they kind of get turned off by that. They kind of, you know, they go, oh, it's probably mediocre, and they don't want to listen to it, but it's very high quality music for a 16-year-old kid especially. So definitely check out Niagara. Number 22 on my list is Focus by K Hella. If you are a fan of the Putting Y'all On series that I do on my channel, where I put people onto up-and-coming artists, then you will know K Hella, who was featured in the very first episode of Putting Y'all On. He is an up-and-coming artist out of Sacramento in California who is making unreal music from his bedroom. It is absolutely ridiculous. If you listen to Focus, you will know what I mean. And then you're going to want to go and listen to Shift, because that also is just incredible. But Focus, yes. Red Veil and K Hella, the up-and-comers that are on my list, I thought Focus was a little bit more enjoyable than Niagara, but they are two people that you should definitely check out if you have not. Very solid music. Really love their stuff. 21 is Now More Than Ever by Flatbush Zombies. Man, this album is a banger, dude. Like, through and through, this album is just great. It was my introductory album to Flatbush Zombies' music. I had not heard of them before. I'm very glad that this is the one that I got introduced to them through, because it is just fantastic. They also kept it very short, very sweet, but some of the production choices, the energy that they brought, it's very fire. It's still approachable despite being slightly experimental at some points. I thought that it piqued my interest fully in them and in their music, and I think that it definitely deserved a spot on my list. Number 20 is From King to a God by Conway the Machine. The Griselda guys killed it all year. I think we can all, you know, fully admit that. But I think that Conway the Machine had one of the stronger rap albums of this year with From King to a God. He just brought it, okay? Lyrically, like, the production choices that he made, they were how can I say this? They were a little bit more modern than some of those production choices that West Side Gun made on Pray for Paris, for example. Very different vibes from two people who are, you know, in the same group. This one kind of has drums that are louder and more in your face, 808s that knock a little heavier, whereas Pray for Paris is a little bit more nuanced. It's got some of that Alchemist production that focuses more on sampling than on the drums sometimes. But I think that because of that, From King to a God just was a little bit more approachable for me because I really like those loud drums. And on that note, number 19 is Burden of Proof by Benny the Butcher, who I feel kind of did the same thing Conway did with From King to a God, but he did it a little bit more consistently. He just kind of brought it a little bit, you know, harder. He just kind of really made his performance stand out a little bit more, but still kept the drums hitting, kept the 808s knocking, kept the production very fire. Burden of Proof, number 19 on my list by Benny the Butcher. He killed it. Number 18 is A Written Testimony by Jay Electronica, and I guess also by Jay-Z. I didn't catch a lot of the stuff when I heard it the first time around. I was nowhere near educated enough to catch, you know, some of the references that he was making, some of the things that he was saying. But after a couple more listens, man, just the things that they say on this album, like, it's hard to put into words. You just gotta listen to it. You know, the production is so out of this world. It's so ethereal. For something that took so long to come out, people kind of were upset that he didn't shine so much more on this album because he had Jay-Z on most of the tracks. I personally am a fan of Jay-Z, and I think that Jay-Z killed it on every song, and it was great music, so you're not gonna hear any complaints from me. A Written Testimony, ridiculously good. You've got to check it out. If you haven't, what are you doing? Number 18 on my list. Now we're getting into some of the more melodic albums that I was listening to earlier this year, right? We're past the rap, you know, portion of this list. With number 17, It Is What It Is by Thundercat. This album is beautiful. Thundercat is brilliant. He is a character and a half, but he is a very talented musician who created some incredible songs on It Is What It Is. The vibes, the atmosphere, the instrumentals, just some of the smoothest music, most chaotic music, most interestingly arranged music that I've heard all year. Definitely deserving of a spot on this list. It Is What It is great. I loved it. Number 17. Coming in at number 16 on my list is Modus Vivendi by 070 Shake. I almost called her 007 Shake. Not stirred. That was a terrible joke. I might leave that in though. Modus Vivendi is coming in at number 16 by 070 Shake. This was one of the albums that came out early this year, but I remember loving it off my first listen, and then she rearranged the track list and it made even more sense. The album, or the songs, flow even better into one another. Going back and listening to it now is just gonna make you levitate. Like, it's the vibes on this are just absolutely insane. The vocalizing, the structure to the songs, the instrumentals, very good stuff, man. Modus Vivendi, top 20 albums of the year, coming in at number 16. Number 15 is Wanna by Gunna. Gotta love this, man. This is just, Gunna's flow is timeless. The bounce to the production is crazy. He put out a deluxe version that I wasn't a huge fan of. I think I only liked one or two of the songs off the deluxe, but the original, just straight Wanna album was, I think, 15 tracks long, and most of them were bangers. Dollars on My Head is one of my top songs of 2020, along with the title track, Wanna. The vibe to Wanna, the title track, is just nuts, man. Gunna manages to say like almost nothing that entire song, but it's one of my favorite songs that I've heard all year. So, Wanna, number 15. Coming in at number 14 is Limbo by Amine. I believe I'm saying that right. Limbo is fantastic. Still have not heard the deluxe. I'm behind on a lot of music, don't get me wrong, but even not having heard the deluxe, Limbo is good enough and strong enough to come in at number 14. There is a very cool mixture of, you know, some bouncy trap to some melodic songs to some smoother, like R&B almost tracks on here that Amine manages to perform on very, very consistently, very solidly. It's just super enjoyable. What can I say, man? Like, the fact that he managed to mix and match some of the songs and still managed to keep us interested throughout all of the tracks, still managed to catch us off guard sometimes with some of the different lanes that he took the project in. He just performed very, very well, and I gotta give him his props. I gotta put this in on the list. Top 15 albums of all time. Not all time, man. I keep saying of all time. top 15 albums of this year of 2020, definitely. Coming in at number 13 is Dark Lane Demo Tapes by Drake. Now, what does it say about an artist when he puts out a tape of demo tracks, of tracks that he wasn't gonna finish, that he didn't finish, just loosies, and it ends up in the top 15 of the year? What does that say about an artist? I don't know, you tell me. I think Drake right now is the LeBron James of the rap game. I do. I think he gets way too much hate. People are gonna love him and only show him love as soon as he's gone. Knock on wood, I hope that doesn't happen for a very, very long time, because I think people love to hate on greatness when they see it. I want to give this man his flowers while he's here. You know, this man is the greatest right now. He's on top of the rap game. He is just, I'm not even a Drake stan, but he is undeniably great. That's the thing, right? LeBron James is just, love him or hate him, personality-wise, whatever, his game, undeniably great. And that's what Drake is musically. So Dark Lane Demo Tapes, very, very good. I love the loosies. I love the kind of raw, unfinished quality to some of these tracks. Some of the ideas that he showed on this, like the fact that he was able to show us kind of what mood he was in, what lane he was in, kind of makes me excited for what we're going to see on Certified Lover Boy, because if he follows some of these ideas through to fruition, they're going to be fantastic. Certified Lover Boy is going to be a classic. And some of these songs that he put on here are like so good that the fact that they weren't even good enough for his album is also making me very excited. So number 13, Dark Lane Demo Tapes, very good stuff, man. Coming in at number 12, Eternal Take. Man, Lil Uzi Vert got everybody so hyped up for an album and then lived up to the hype. I, to this day, think Eternal Take is like an 8 out of 10. The deluxe was a little underwhelming, right? But that's not Eternal Take. That's Lil Uzi Vert versus the World 2. That's another album. Eternal Take is ridiculous. 3 distinct segments of this album. The first one is very heavy trap, kind of. I think I enjoy maybe 3 or 4 out of the songs out of that segment. But as we move further and further down the track list, he gets more and more into his melodic rock star Lil Uzi Vert music that I enjoy so much, so much, that to this day I go back to a lot of those songs. Eternal Take, heavy replay value. Some people's album of the year, comes in at number 12 for my list. Very, very good. Number 11, It Was Good Until It Wasn't by Kehlani, dude. I love Kehlani's music ever since I first discovered it in 2017 was when I first started listening to her music. I think it was Sweet Sexy Savage, the first of her projects that I listened to. Then I went back and listened to Wish You Were Here. I think that was the name of that mixtape. Kehlani makes fantastic music, fantastic R&B. She's such a talented performer, a beautiful voice. I kind of have a crush on her. Like, she is just everything. So, I mean, this album is very, very good. Incredible performances, great R&B tracks. Definitely some of the more enjoyable music from this year. Definitely a little bit more of the lane that I was in all year, for sure. The more melodic, beautiful sounding music that I was really enjoying. So came in at number 11, almost made the top 10. Kehlani was killing it. Not a lot of people talk about her, but she's winning awards behind the scenes. Like, she's killing it. So really, really a big fan of hers. We're gonna head into the top 10. Sheesh, dude. Top 10 already. I managed to get 20 tracks in, and we're 26 minutes into this video. I'm very happy with the pace that we're on, so let's just keep this up. Coming in at number 10, Speligen by Spillage Village. Man, was this album creative? Was this album catchy? Were their performances great? The religious themes throughout the titles and throughout some of the verses, like the album artwork, they managed to fit in so many different little vibes in the track list. Like, they did a very great job on this one. I really love it. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, like I said, I'm not going to go super in depth. I'm not going to review the entire thing, but the performances, they're just great. I love the melodic elements. I love how catchy some of the choruses are. Like, it's so easy to put on and listen all the way through it. You know, it's so nice to come back to, and it's always so refreshing. So Speligen, number 10, very, very solid, man. Love it. I know I said I wasn't really big into rap this year, but we do have 2 rap albums in my top 10. Coming in at number 9 is No Pressure by Logic, his triumphant return that I was so happy to see. Going out of his career with a bang. You know, he's retired now. I hope that maybe one day he comes out of retirement for one more album with like some insane heavy hitters on there. But if he doesn't, I'm very happy that this is the album he dropped right before he left, because No Pressure is so good, man. Putting it on and listening to it makes you feel like you're just walking outside during a sunny day. So beautiful. Arrangements are incredible. The sampling, some of it done by Logic himself, very fire. The callbacks to previous albums, callbacks to classic albums that he was listening to when he made it. His pen is on point. Production is just killer. Six is one of the best producers out right now, and I feel like he's heavily underrated. And you know, I mean, this man is making bangers. Okay, Six is, don't sleep on him. He is fire. And they killed it on No Pressure, for sure. And number 8 is the second rap album that's in my top 10, Unlocked, by Denzel Curry and Kenny Beats. One of my favorite albums of this year. One of my favorite rap albums of this year as well. Technically my favorite rap album if it's, you know, at the top spot for the rap albums in my list. So I guess, yeah, Unlocked is my favorite rap album of the year. Man, Denzel Curry, his energy is just contagious. The lyrics aren't always so intricate, so hard to catch, but he makes up for it with incredible charisma, insane energy. Kenny Beats' production is some of my favorite recently. Some of my favorite beats have come from Kenny Beats. Just super creative, very weird sounds, crazy on the drums, very nice use of percussion. Just some of the melodies on here are just so eerie and creepy, and I love like the vibes that they took, the lanes that they went in with this album. I really hope they continue to work together because they have incredible chemistry. Watch the Cave Denzel Curry episode, you'll see what I mean. They just work very, very well together. Very happy that Unlocked exists because I think it is very fire. Coming in at number 7 is Notes on a Conditional Form by the 1975. This is some of the most beautiful music I have heard all year. The arrangements are perfect. The work that they do with the sampling, the work that they do with the strings, their signature 1975 sound is still there. You can still catch it. Some of those really groovy tracks, but the songwriting is just elevated. You know, Maddie's songwriting has improved so much over the years. He was already great at writing these tracks, but now, man, when you listen to some of these songs, like sometimes you just want to cry because it's just so moving. It's so beautiful. It's so well done. It's beautifully performed. Everything about Notes on a Conditional Form is great in my opinion. Some of my favorite tracks of this year came from that album. Number 6 is Take Time by Giveon, another artist who I was very pleased to have discovered this year because he has not missed yet, in my opinion. I have never heard a Giveon track I didn't like yet. His voice is insane. The production is always perfectly suited to him and his performance. The songwriting is always spot on. I love the vibes. I love everything that he did on Take Time. One of the shorter albums of this year as well, but definitely one of the most well executed. You gotta listen to it if you haven't. I love Drake for putting me on to Giveon because he's top notch. Top 5, guys. Here we go. Number 5 is Circles, Mac Miller. Love this album. Definitely not a rap album. Yeah, man. I think that it might be one of the greatest posthumous albums I have ever heard. I know that most of it was finished before he unfortunately passed away, but the production on this is just tear-jerking. The storytelling and the lyricism are heart-wrenching. The Mac Miller just manages to make you feel. He just manages to make you feel. In a world where a lot of music is just so mind-numbing and you kind of don't feel anything for it and it's just really repetitive, he had a habit of making you feel something with his music. And he manages to do that exceptionally well on Circles. It might be my favorite Mac Miller album. I don't know. Don't quote me on that, but it's up there for sure. Beautiful stuff. Number 4, Plastic Hearts, Miley Cyrus. Loving this rock star vibe that she is on, man. God, is this album good. It's so good, man. Oh my God. Her singing is just getting better. She's putting more drive in her vocals. She's really embracing the look and the sound of just being a rock star, a modern day rock star, and I think it's fantastic. I think Plastic Hearts is great. I think Midnight Sky is great. I love the song that she did with Billy Idol. I forget the name of it right now, but I love the Heart of Glass remix that she did, the cover that she did. Oh my God, dude. That's better than the original. And that's all on this album. Fantastic stuff. Top 4 of this year. Had to give it to her because she came through. She came through. It was a fantastic album. I gotta give credit where credit is due. Miley Cyrus killed it. Coming in at number 3, top 3 albums of this year, guys. Tickets to My Downfall, Machine Gun Kelly. Man, was this a breath of fresh air. I'm not a fan of Machine Gun Kelly as a rapper. I'm not a big fan of his music in general. But Tickets to My Downfall is so good. I love the rock star vibe that he's on. I would much rather he just become a rock star, you know, and just give up on rapping, because it's not that he's bad at it. It's just there's so many others out there who I think are better. But he manages to do this rock star sound a whole lot of justice from somebody who makes rap music. I think his voice is perfectly suited for it. Whenever he collabs with guys like Travis Barker or Youngblood, it's a guaranteed hit, in my opinion. His song that he has, Forget Me Too, with Halsey, oh my god, it's such a banger, dude. It's catchy, it gets stuck in my head all the time. I go back and listen to that almost daily. So, Tickets to My Downfall, heavily underrated project because it's from Machine Gun Kelly. Listen to it with an open mind. Don't judge the artist before you listen to this album. It's different to a lot of the stuff that he's done before, but I really love this sound from him. I would love it if he just stuck to this sound for the rest of his career. You know, he does it so well. Really enjoyable stuff. I listened to it I don't know how many times. Very good stuff. Number 2, Cool Tapes Volume 3 by Jaden Smith. Oh, this album is so pretty, man. From the album art that's so colorful. This is one of the albums that you listen to it and it sounds like the artwork for the album. You know what I mean? It's so bright, so happy, so bubbly, so colorful, so pleasant, so easy on the ears. That's really the vibe that I was looking for all year, man. Because you know, this year was kind of dark. Everything about it was just so gloomy, so chaotic. I really needed a breath of fresh air musically, and that's what this is. Jaden put together a beautiful album with great music on there. Definitely check this out. Also, not a rap album. He does a lot of singing on this one, a lot of beautiful instrumentation. I love this album with all my strength. It's very, very good. And number 1, I guess a lot of you guys are probably, you probably know it already. If I haven't mentioned it yet, and we're talking about the top 30 albums of this year, and it hasn't been mentioned yet, a lot of you probably know what number 1 is. It's After Hours by The Weeknd. This is the best album that I have heard from The Weeknd, and it's the best album I heard all year. Granted, I have not heard Echoes of Silence or Kissland yet. I am going to get those reactions out to you guys, I promise. But After Hours is definitely my favorite The Weeknd album. I think that the beautiful poppy synths are brilliant. I love the different vibes that are on here, right? From some of the more smooth, kind of like laid back vibes to some of the more aggressive, in your face, super fast paced dance tracks, that he does. I mean, After Hours had one of the biggest hits of the year, if not the biggest hit of the year, with Blinding Lights. He got snubbed from the Grammys. I will never forgive them for that. He deserves all of the Grammys for this year, for this album, because when I tell you it's some of the most creative, some of the most mind-blowing, great, just genuinely great music that I have heard all year. That's what it is, man. It's what it is. It's the best album I've heard all year. It without a doubt. After Hours, number 1 out of 30. And that's my list, honestly. I managed to get it to less than 40 minutes. So I'm not mad at that, guys. I'm not mad at that. This is going to require us a little bit of editing, but for the most part, yeah, this is probably going to be a longer video. So thank you for watching all the way through it, if you made it all the way through. Really appreciate you for supporting the channel. Like I said, if you're enjoying the content and you feel like supporting the channel monthly, you can do so by becoming a patron or a member of the channel here on YouTube. Join the Discord server, because Putting Y'all On is going to be the submissions. I'm going to be taking them exclusively on Discord. There is a channel in there specifically for that. So join the Discord server if you want to participate in Putting Y'all On and submit your music for me to review during those live streams. Putting Y'all On is going to be, what day is today? Tuesday? Yeah. Putting Y'all On is tomorrow. So be there or be square at 3 p.m. Eastern. What else do I got to plug? You can follow the Twitch if you want. Like I said, I'm still feeling it out. If Twitch isn't working out, I'm going to stick to YouTube for my live streams. But for now, I'm doing a lot of them over there. You can follow me there if you feel like it. There's also a link in the description to my social media if you feel like following me. And there is a link to a tip page. Some people have asked me for a page where they can make a one-time donation to the channel. You can use that if you really feel like it. If you're not able to, or you don't feel like supporting monthly, but you want to support with a one-time donation, that option is there for those of you who requested that. I really appreciate the willingness to support the channel and for even asking me, to put that there. So thank you guys so much for watching the video. Let me know your list in the comment section. Like I said, this is not an objective end-all be-all best albums list. This is just the order in which I enjoyed these albums all year. Very subjective, purely my opinion. I'm not trying to be unbiased towards any of these albums. I didn't listen to a whole lot of rap, so the rap stuff ended up towards the bottom of the list. Doesn't mean they're bad. All these albums are great. I just prefer listening to the other stuff for the vibe that I'm on this year. Guys, I've got to go because I'm losing my voice. I've been talking for 40 minutes nonstop, so that takes a toll on anybody. I will see you guys in another video or live stream very soon. Until then, stay safe out there. I might see you for the Whole Lotta Red first reaction. That should be dropping for the patrons first on the 26th, a day early, and then a day after the patrons get it, the rest of you guys get it. So yeah, I think it'll drop probably on Sunday for the YouTube channel. Yeah, unless I'm able to get it out on Friday, but that's tough. It's Christmas. So anyways, I'll see you guys later. I'm talking too much. Stay safe, guys. Take care of yourselves. Peace out.